I didn't like Candlebox in 1997. I have friends who have been mad at me my whole life because I not only don't like them, I hate them. I hate their music. So I won't be at that. But
welcome back to the What Podcast. I'm Barry. That's Bryan. That's Lord Taco. We've taken a couple weeks off. We're back. There's a reason why I have these hideous sunglasses on.
They say you look cool to me.
Well, they are cool. And if you're old school, you should know why I have these on.
I guess I'm not old school enough. We didn't have time for a pre-show meeting today, guys.
No,
Sorry.
I wasn't going to give it up either. But I'm going to apologize maybe to you guys because I'm feeling a little mushy. I'm feeling a little old. Today's my birthday.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
And I was
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Happy birthday.
This sounds so stupid. So I was down in the basement listening to my Victrola, listening to an Elvis record, and I walked over to my computer and I saw these, and I was given these by the curator of Graceland as part of my job years ago. They are an exact replica of the sunglasses that Elvis used to wear. And I actually held in my hand Elvis's sunglasses that these are modeled after. And first of all, I want to say they weighed about 400 pounds. I can't believe the man wore them. But it sort of triggered, and I've been thinking about this all week, and Bryan, it's kind of your fault, because I was listening to your podcast Wednesday, Stone on Air. You've had a pretty doggone good month or summer.
It's been pretty nice. Yeah, it's been pretty nice.
And
It's not over yet either.
It's not over, and you were very effusive, which is unusual for you, in thanking people for what a great summer you've had. And I've had the same sort of week, and that's kind of where I'm going with this. We're pretty lucky people. We get to do a lot of cool things, and that's kind of what I wanted to talk about today. We're going to talk about South Star. We're going to talk about our picks a little bit, and that's even part of what I mean. You and I, Russ, sorry, we're kicking sand in your face. I know.
What a jerk.
You're going to a niece's wedding, right? Or a family member's wedding? Yeah.
Yeah. Can't make South Star this year, unfortunately.
That down in Florida or something like that?
Yeah, we'll be in Florida.
Which is cool. I mean, you got to go. I mean, I get
It'd be
that,
cooler if it was any other weekend during the year.
I know. Isn't that the way it always works?
Life, man.
But I got a couple of phone calls this week from people, Bryan, that we all know, that are also going to be at South Star. And I was like, oh, cool. I mean, the more I think about this festival coming up, the more I'm excited I am about it, because not only the lineup is good, but we're going to see a lot of people that we've met over the years through Bonnaroo or through work or through whatever. And again, it was just sort of this, like I said, this morning I woke up and started like, life's pretty good. I'm not going to complain.
If you can't reflect and get to that point on your birthday, I don't know if you're ever going to get there.
I know, but it's like we're going to see a lot of people the three of us, as we've said before, wouldn't know each other. We wouldn't know each other like we do if not for this music festival, Bonnaroo.
100%.
Yeah, and we're going to see a bunch of people down in Huntsville that we would never have known if it weren't for Bonnaroo or music festivals.
Yep.
So life's pretty good.
And it's real easy to get, wrapped up in life and think that it's exactly the opposite, and I do it all the time,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a self-sabotaging crazy person sometimes. So I understand this 100%. And it's really nice to be able to sit back and realize, and be thankful. And it's something I wouldn't have done 15 years ago.
Yeah.
It's just not where my brain would have gone. And it does now. So yeah, I 100% can get behind what you're saying.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It takes just as much energy. I mean, all the cliches we can we can pull them all out, but you know, and not to get political, but I don't want to go backwards. I'm tired of it being negative. Life is pretty doggone good, and that's just the way I'm choosing to see it. And there's so many things like these sunglasses, and that's the point of. I mean, I held Elvis's sunglasses. What the hell?
That's pretty
Right?
neat.
Who gets to do that?
And nobody should be shocked that Elvis has gaudy 100-pound sunglasses either.
Exactly.
That's pretty wild. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, if you don't know who Elvis is, you're too young. Look it up. I'm not apologizing.
Everybody knows who Elvis is, don't they? Don't they?
They better
They
if you
should.
don't look it up. So
I don't know.
anyway, and along those lines, I'm going to ask Bryan. You know, he's had a couple of pretty cool trips, which is part of why we took a couple of weeks off. But Russ, I always overtalk, and you know, what have you been doing the last couple of weeks? What's going on?
Yeah, good question. Where the hell you been? The local bar?
Not, yeah, local bar pretty much. Haven't done a whole lot of anything.
Had any good
Been-
PBR?
Had some PBR. Been streaming a lot.
Oh yeah, I'd have noticed what, World War III or whatever it was that you're playing the other day. I didn't even know what it was. I don't even see. And the thing is with those games, Russ, I'm your age and I don't recognize any of these games you're playing. I played all these games when I thought I did, but yeah, that Twitch channel, man, it's working.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. And so that's pretty much all I've been up to. I did secure tickets, Barry. You know, we've got next month we're going to go see
Oh,
Beat
yeah.
in Nashville.
Yeah, I don't know if we
So,
told you. We kind of mentioned it to you, Bryan. We're going to go see Beat.
I saw that it was in the text thread. Yeah, I think I was
Mhm.
moving around, traveling when I saw that. So yeah, was that the
Steve
Ryman?
Vai.
Yeah, is
Yeah,
it-
at the Ryman.
Ryman?
It's at the Ryman, and it's it's former members of King Crimson with Steve Vai and Danny Carey on drums from Tool,
Tool, yeah.
playing the '80s incarnation of King Crimson.
Yeah.
That's a wild.
Isn't that nuts?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a wild group of people doing a very cool thing. I mean, I had heard of it, but I didn't know Danny Carey was playing drums. I know that I see him pop up in my algorithms a lot for some reason. But Ryman, y'all seen a show at the Ryman? A music show?
It's been a long, long, long time
Yeah,
for me.
I think I have been there, but it has been a long time.
It's
And,
an interesting place to see a show. And I mean that in the sense that it's not that great. It's like awesome. I mean, it's so cool to be there. It's like a museum. You know, it's a museum itself. It's
yeah,
just,
and I got talked into the what is it? The Ford Room, the little
Yeah.
VIP upgrade y'all are doing.
Oh yeah. I have
yeah.
not been in there.
Russ is he's gonna ride with my brother and my nephew. And Mike, when he bought the tickets, got the pre-show thing in the Ford Room, which is like drinks and some food and a poster.
I've
right?
seen those
Yeah.
add-ons they've
Mhm.
done. Yeah,
Yeah.
they've in the last 10 years they've put a lot of additions on the Ryman. The last time I went was about 10 years ago for Noel Gallagher, but it's a cool place. But you can get it was built when the average height of a male was barely 6 feet, so the overhang hangs really far down. If you're underneath that overhang, it cuts off your view like
we're up
right here.
We're in the upper, so
Then you're in a good spot.
That's
You
what we
want to
heard.
be upstairs at the
That's what
Ryman.
we heard. So.
You
Yeah.
want to be
Yeah.
upstairs.
But what a cool show! I'm looking forward to it, and I'm especially glad you're going with us. That's going to be fun.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. The only other thing I did was I was an extra in a music video.
Oh yeah, what was that about? One of our local bands, I know. Lillian is the name of the band. right?
Lillian,
my nephew's band,
yeah,
of
our
all
friend
things.
Travis Knight's in there, and then Graham, your nephew Barry,
Yep.
are in a band together. And I, happened to go out one night and see them perform, and bought a record. And they put out a call for they're shooting a music video, and it's a bar scene, and so they just asked for people to show up and populate a bar. So I thought, well, I can do that.
So they
Yeah,
needed
that's easy enough for you, right?
good-looking
Yeah.
people who could drink a beer, and you fit that bill, huh?
I fit the bill.
Any compensation for that? A free
Was-
PBR or anything?
Yeah, was there
No.
choreography? Did you dance? I mean, what did you do exactly?
Just stood there and drink beer.
That's your skill set, man.
Yeah.
Sounds like a hell of a gig.
I'm born to play this role. So looking forward to the I'm sure I'll
Born
get
to
an
play
Oscar
this
whenever it comes out.
Talk about typecasting. We need beer drinking guys.
Yep.
You'll never get another gig in this city now,
No.
Taco.
That's funny. Yeah, he's got the big head now. He's gonna need money.
Yep, I can put that
PBR.
on my resume. Start asking for a little bit more money from y'all.
Yeah, that'll work out well.
Yeah.
All right, so that's my mushy part. I just point being, we're lucky people and we get to do some cool stuff. And part of that is we get to go. Bryan and I, we're gonna go to South Star, which is the festival in Huntsville, Alabama, 28th and 29th.
Yeah, we're talking from the time this is going to hit 10 days.
Yeah.
Yeah, 10 days.
Mm-hmm.
And we were kind of talking off air, Bryan. I mean, when this was announced, the three of us were all very excited. We were going. And then, of course, our mood kind of dipped a little bit about 2 months ago. It's like,
Happens all the
do I
time.
really want to? Yeah, no, it's what we do.
Happens all the time. I'm going, man. Oh, wait a second. I don't know.
Wait, you mean I got to get off the couch?
Remember Bourbon and Beyond we were going to do, and it was going to be the biggest party of the year, and we haven't talked about it in 5 months.
Maybe not so
Yep.
much. I'm going.
But this is a little different for sure.
Exactly. I am very excited to the point, like this morning when I was listening, like I said, to the Victrola, I was charging batteries. I'm getting my tent out. I'm getting my, I'm starting to think about packing. Trying to think about how the weekend is actually going to go. So I'm really, really excited about it. And so, but it's different because we had Corey Smith on a couple of 3 weeks ago, and this is kind of a city festival, but not a city festival. So, and it's also a brand new festival. So, I'm kind of curious, Bryan. You're probably like me. We've done enough of these, but I'm trying to figure out how it's going to work. Right? I mean,
Yeah, we just saw the map yesterday or in the last couple of days, so that was nice to at least get a quick view of it. Doesn't mean that you know exactly what to expect. After talking to Corey, we know more than the map shows us as far as how big it is.
What do you say? 13 minutes from entrance to the very back.
Very small amount
Walking?
of time.
Yeah, which is awesome.
Very small amount of time, but
Flushable toilets. I mean,
that's huge, and a very, very, very big space, though. So,
right.
We'll find out what that means exactly when we get there. So, yeah, there's a lot to learn, and I'm still, I think we've talked about it. If not on the show, off. None of us have a ton of Huntsville experience,
Right.
And the little bit that we have is pretty recent. So, it's going to be an interesting first time event. Hopefully, one of many. Time will tell on that. But
Yeah. I think you're like me. We're starting to really put together our lists. What do I want to do? What do I anticipate? What time do I think I'll get there?
the good news with something like this is that it looks like it's so well designed. You don't really need a list. You can kind of just do it all,
Right.
If you want to, without it being an unrealistic expectation.
Right.
Like Bonnaroo and Lollapalooza and many of these other monster festivals, you get excited and you make these lists, and we've done a whole damn show on it. Everybody understands this by now. It's ridiculous. It's fun, so you're always going to do it. You're always going to do your list because
Right.
it's part of it. It's like March Madness. You're going to fill it out. And here, it looks like, and this is how Moon River was, our local festival that's come and gone now. If you wanted to, you could just go on down and you could see every single act of the day without putting any real effort into it. You might get pretty damn tired, especially when it's still summer in the South
Right.
in September. It looks like this might be that way too, which is really cool because that means you can make it up on the fly. And if you truly don't want to miss Gin Blossoms and Jimmy Eat World, then you won't.
Yeah.
And so that's unless the weather comes in and screws things up, which we also know September can be notorious for that in the South as well, as we're dealing with, not us specifically, but the South is dealing with right now.
Yeah, there is that. And like I said in the intro, we're going to see a lot of people that we know, which is a whole different sort of element. So I'm really, really excited about it. And I was excited when the lineup came out and the fact that it's so close. But the closer I get, I'm really looking forward to this. And
Yeah, in Huntsville, I was there in May. That was the first time since I was very, very, very young. I think it's a pretty cool town.
It's very cool.
Yeah, I like it a lot. It reminds me of where we're from a lot in some ways and not in others. So it's an hour and 20 minutes down the road too.
I know.
It's going to be really easy for us. So yeah, it's going to be good.
Yeah. Who are you looking forward to? And Russ, I'm going to ask you to contribute. If you were to go, I'll ask you first. Who are the bands that you would see?
Yeah, your official picks. Like
My
the ones
official
that, like
picks.
if you had to, there's only a handful. Obviously, we could see
If
them
you
all.
didn't have
but-
a selfish
Right.
niece who decided to ruin your weekend,
and everybody
Yeah.
who loves football that weekend.
and
I'm
they
not
will
that
have
guy.
a big TV.
I'm
They
not
will
that-
have a big TV.
I'm not that guy, but
Well-
we all know those guys and gals are everywhere. Go ahead.
Here's my theoretical picks then, since
Sure.
you put me on the spot. Probably number one for me to see would be Beck. I've never seen Beck. I've always wanted to.
Same.
Never had the chance, so sucks that I'm going to miss him. But that's probably number one for me. I also do kind of want to see Sublime, mostly just because I'm curious how it's going to work with with the son of what's his name, Bradley.
Yeah.
He sounds pretty good from what I've kind of just poked around. So I'd like to see Sublime. I'm right there with you, Bryan. Jane's Addiction would be way up there for me too. Big Boy, we kind of already saw at Riverbend here. That was a fun show. So there's my handful, I guess. Winona Fighter.
Yeah. All
Let
right.
me go next.
Yep. Go ahead.
Saturday, I would like to see Jane's Addiction, as you referenced, Taco. I've never seen Jane's Addiction. Not even that big of a fan, but it's the original, or mostly it's Perry and, help me out, Russ. Why am I forgetting the freaking guitar player's name who was in Red Hot Chili
Perry's
Peppers?
one. All I know, and Been Caught Stealing is one of the great beginning songs, the great intros ever.
Dave Navarro.
Agreed.
Jesus, Dave Navarro.
Yeah.
Navarro and Perry are there, so that's all that really matters. So Jane's Addiction, I've never seen Gwen Stefani or man, my memory doesn't work at all. What the hell was the name of their band?
Who are we talking about? Shine Down. What are you
We've
talking
been
about?
off for 2 weeks.
Blink.
Gwen Stefani's band. No Doubt. My God,
Doubt.
sorry everybody. I've never seen No Doubt or Gwen, so those are back to back on the main stage on Saturday. That sounds really fun. If that's all I did on Saturday, that'd be
Yeah.
a great day to me.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen Gin Blossoms. Don't care about much of the rest. I didn't like Candlebox in 1997. I have friends who have been mad at me my whole life because I not only don't like them, I hate them. I hate their music. So I won't be at that. But that's mainly on Saturday. And TLC. I know it's not, they're not all alive anymore, but I've never seen any version of the girls from TLC.
That's a good
would
point.
love to see that. And that goes right in a row on Saturday. TLC, Jane's Addiction, Gwen. If I just wanted to park right there,
Yeah.
that's a perfect day in my book. And then move on to Sunday. I've seen Pete Yorn, but I'd do it again for sure. Goo Goo Dolls I've seen, don't need to do it again. Blink 182, I'd have trouble seeing them if they were playing down the road from my house. I likely won't see that. But Beck, I'm in the same ballpark as you guys. Never seen Beck, love Beck, and it's Beck and Jane's Addiction that really are on both those back-to-back days. It's like
Right.
that really kind of sells it for me.
100% agree. That and the way the way it's playing out. Like if it was if this was a Bonnaroo lineup, and I had to make the effort to go from one side of the farm to the other, Beck and Jane's Addiction would be the two that I would make the effort. The rest of them would be kind of
See how that falls.
yeah, walk bys. If I'm there, I'm there. But the fact that this is 2 stages and you just can walk back and forth, you mentioned it a couple weeks ago, Brian. These are bands that you're gonna sit there whether you want to or not and know more songs than you think you know.
Yeah, like Jimmy Eat World.
Yeah,
You're gonna know 5 songs from Jimmy Eat World.
exactly. And you're gonna be like, okay, well that was fun, you know.
It just takes some time.
And what the heck else are you gonna do, right?
Yeah.
You know, my old you're there. You might as well see it. So I think it's a great lineup. I think it's gonna be a fun lineup. If you know you want to walk away and go buy a T-shirt or something during whatever, you can.
Or watch some football, right? I mean, they've got
watch some football.
I noticed on the map, which you'll see on here, that that's got the little sports football viewing area, which we talked with Corey. He talked about it was going to be a very big, spacious area. So on both Saturday and Sunday, hell, if you want to just go and hang out, see a little music, and watch football.
And hang out with these people that I keep talking about that we know are going to be there.
Yeah, catch some ball too. I don't know who the Titans and who that weekend or any other games that I care about. I'll check into that later. Music festivals come before football in my world every single time.
Yeah.
But if you give me an opportunity to watch a little ball,
Sure,
I'll take a look.
I'm into it. So I'm really excited. I think it's going to be fun. I'm excited about the festival itself. I'm excited to see how it works. I'm excited to see, you know, like you guys said, Beck for sure, Jane's Addiction. I've never seen Gwen Stefani. I want to see it, you know.
Yeah, I bet it's pretty fun.
I guess that's what I'm anticipating. Is I may not be a huge fan of everybody on the lineup, but I think it's going to be fun.
Yeah, and I forgot to mention Gin Blossoms. It's funny if they're side by side or back to back with Candlebox, and I could see someone saying, "Wait a second, hold on, you like Gin Blossoms, but you don't like Candlebox. What's the matter with you, man?"
Yeah.
Because Candlebox is a much more rock and roll band than Gin Blossoms are. And I don't even know how many original members are left in Gin Blossoms. But, boy, I liked them a lot back in the day. So that'll be another one. That goes right up with the TLC, Jane's Addiction. I mean, that's a full day. That Saturday is just a really good-looking day for me.
It's going to be a lot of fun. And then we get to go discover Huntsville and hang out with friends. So I'm excited about it. Brian, you mentioned off air there was a little bit of news. We don't have a lot of news, right?
Nothing really, yeah, except for I saw this just within the last day, I guess. Warped Tour is coming back. I never did Warped because it was not really, well, at least I don't remember it being in my, I'm trying to think of a better way to put it than wheelhouse, but what I was into at the time. When I went back and looked at some of the early Warped Tour lineups, 311, do I have it still pulled up? I hope I do. I'm sorry if I don't, but and I don't. But there it is. This is the second year. 311, Beck, speaking of which, Blink 182, speaking of which, Fishbone, Real Big Fish, Pennywise, No Effects, Mighty Mighty Bosstones. There's a lot of good bands on there, and I don't know why I didn't think so then, but it went all the way to 2019. I had no idea. It went from 1995 to 2019. I'm guessing 2020 was just we're done with this because of all the obvious reasons, but it's coming back next year, and the emo kids are going to be happy is all I can say to that.
You're looking at your computer screen, and like I said, it's my birthday. And one thing, Brian, you've talked about it. I've talked about it. One of the craziest things about Facebook, it's so corny, but the happy birthdays.
It's like the only thing I like from it.
I appreciate it. People, that means so much. It's so... I don't even just thank you, everybody. And you get to hear from people, and I'm hearing from people I just got from, people I've met through Bonnaroo, Jeff Cuellar and Ken Weinstein and people like that. I would never know if not for Bonnaroo, just saying happy birthday, and that means a bunch. But
leave a comment. Tell Barry happy birthday too.
Yeah.
Let's keep it going.
Come on, you jerk. Don't be.
Very much.
I actually, guys, on that subject, I have never told anybody happy birthday on Facebook once. Not once. I'll text people and say, hey, happy birthday. I just got to keep my streak going. I can't tell you happy birthday on Facebook, but I want them all coming towards me when I get them. I used to go and tell people that I knew that were twins. I would tell their twin to tell their brother or sister happy birthday for me. But I wouldn't tell them happy birthday. It's something, I'm stupid as hell. I do weird things, and that's just one of the weird things. So, Barry, you will not get a happy birthday from me on Facebook.
I didn't expect it.
I can't break my 20-year streak of never doing it.
Bryan has like 3 things that are really meaningful to him, and they're all stupid. That's one. The time clock forward and time change.
The time change. We're almost there. Are you ready for it, Barry?
No.
And I don't know what your other one is, but you're the only person who gives a shit.
I don't know if that's true or not, Barry.
His head explodes. But I do want to hear. I want to hear from you. Again, along the lines of we're so lucky we get to do stuff.
Oh, yeah. Let's do talk
You
about it.
got to go. I mean, this is I have to imagine it's a pretty cool event for you, right? You got to see your favorite band in probably one of the most famous venues in the world. I mean, I would put it top 5.
Yeah.
So, what was that like?
So, I went up to see our buddy Brad in New York, and it's been planned all year long. It's been since January, since the tour and the album was all released, and Brad's got a lot of weight in Nashville in New York City these days, and so from the jump early to start the year, it's like, okay, I'll see you in September. And, these tickets, the Pearl Jam fight against Ticketmaster, that's long gone. If you want a ticket, it's going to cost hundreds and hundreds of dollars. If you want a good seat, for sure. And you weren't going to get them to a place like Madison Square Garden anyway. If you want to go see them in Fenway this week, there's still tickets available because there's 60,000 seats in that. But maybe not 60, but 40,000 anyway. And so... so the whole time me and Brad don't talk much, so I didn't really know what the plan was. But Brad, he likes to be the guy that show like I'm the guy, and we all wish we could be that guy, and he kind of is that guy. So I never really asked what we were doing because I knew that if the opportunity was for something to be really special, he was going to make sure it happened.
He wasn't getting you seats in the back row.
No. And so just the overall trip to New York we didn't really we sat in a ton of bars, just bar hopped, and these are great bars, and this is the city fascinates me all the way around. So
which is interesting because to remind people, you don't drink.
I don't drink. Yes, there is legalization recreationally though, if you know what I mean. So I was able to kind of keep my mind occupied that way. Gotcha. Which is still not the most ideal way to do it. Let's run around the city of New York at 100 miles an hour all stoned. That's not necessarily the best thing to do. But the overall trip, it was really kind of what you're just talking about with Southstar, Barry. It was kind of hanging out with friends. Saw Evan Bonnaroo there. He's a Jersey kid. We and we hung out with Skylar. Is that? I'm Skylar, so sorry. Yeah. Skylar was there, and we went to dinner a couple times, and didn't really do the stuff that you would expect that someone going to New York would do, the sightseeing like we did a couple of years ago. So
you did that before.
Yeah, which you can do 100 times and not see it all in that crazy city. Right. And so it was really just kind of hanging out. But to the question, Pearl Jam at Madison Square Garden. Oh my God! Like I mean,
had you been to the Garden before?
Yeah, one time. The last time that I went to see him when he first moved up there, we went to see Rage Against the Machine.
Okay, that's right. I forgot.
And that was kind of a throw-in at the end of I went to go see baseball when they first Brad and his wife Hillary first moved up there 2.5 or right around 2 years ago, and last minute it's like, whoa, hey, Rage is playing, want to go? Yeah. And so I had already been there, so I didn't do anything this whole stretch that I hadn't already done. So it wasn't a ton to be, all the newness had kind of worn off, but we went to this early post or pre-show gathering at another bar just right around the corner from the Garden. Free spread, food, all you can drink, 2 hours before with all his radio, industry types. And these aren't just we're on the radio DJing radio. These are programmers. So it's really fascinating to eavesdrop because I know just enough that if I do get and they were very friendly people and they were happy to talk to me. There was not a lot of ego or pretentiousness around, which you would expect with people Brad's hanging out with. You would get a lot of that. Right. They're very friendly people and almost treated me as like a colleague, which I'm not. Like half of their day is sitting around having a meeting deciding how many times should we play the new Blink-182 song.
Right.
What do you think, Brad? Oh, I'm thinking every other hour. Those are the kind of conversations they have. It's not just what I'm more used to, which is on a small town basis of media in a town that doesn't matter. This is a bunch of people sitting around talking about, can you believe the new, who is it? Lincoln Park. Lincoln Park comes out tomorrow. We got to figure, they're talking stuff that I'm not used to. But I know it well enough that I can not sound dumb. And they were really inviting and really cool. Like this idea that New York people are assholes is not really true. Maybe it's just me. I fit in, right? Maybe I just fit in. Really friendly people. And so we're hanging out, and this is just another day for them. They went to cage the elephant at Madison Square Garden the next day. I'm getting on a plane going home. They're all getting together to go to cage to do the same thing.
Well, if I can, not only, but those conversations are meaningful. Right? What they're talking about is impacted in Chattanooga.
Sure, yeah. No, it goes down the line.
And Montana and,
It all shakes out. When I'm sitting here at the old alt station here in our town the last radio gig I have, the reason we're playing what we're playing is because they're deciding it up there.
That conversation that you were privy, that's what I mean. That's pretty cool.
It is very cool. Like, I was loving it. I was eating it up because I've never been. This is the major leagues to me. Really? I play in the minor leagues.
Yeah.
Barely, like fun. Low-level minor leagues. And this is just another day at the office. And we leave the show. I'll jump ahead. We leave the show with another guy. We're on the, on the train going somewhere, and he's asking me about the set list because I am in this setting, though, I am the Pearl Jam expert.
Yeah.
So because that's where we're at, that was actually as much fun as the show. And I know you understand that, Barry, and a lot of people might not, but I'm excited about those kinds of things. And so we're at this I don't remember what it is, but this bar, eating and drinking and yucking it up. And then I'm a little like, hey, I don't really want to cut this close, guys, but they know exactly what time the show starts. Like, they've been told this time exactly. So I'm following them around. We go in through this new area of the garden that they've built, kind of like this atrium plaza area. Didn't even really like it that much. I wanted to go in the actual gate of, where you see the garden and you get the panoramic view of because it's a gorgeous building. I never even saw the garden. We walked in this plaza thing. I'm kind of like, what the hell? It looks like a mall. What is this? And then we end up in this dark matter. That's the name of the tour. The lounge with free drinks and food inside Madison Square Garden, which I had no idea, with the laminates and everything. And to them, it's just another day at the office.
Right.
And it's like, I bet it's like, can you believe they don't have, top shelf? That's kind of slightly the attitude. It was mostly joking. And then on to, so I just, I'm eating it up. And then we go to the show, and it's, at the end of the day, it's another Pearl Jam show. Don't really have anything exciting to say about that.
Yeah, that's funny.
A couple of really deep cuts in the set, like early '90s that no one's ever heard of, kind of things, which was a surprise to to a super fan like me. But outside of that, it's just another Pearl Jam show. So it was great though.
You
Boy,
said
it was
something that reminded me a lot, and it's way inside baseball, but that's what we do, so I'm going to tell it.
Sure.
You said they know when the show is going to start to the minute, and they know when it's going to end to the minute. And my favorite band, My Morning Jacket, played here in town, and the guy who runs the venue is a friend, and he said it's going to start at 8:02
at the Tivoli.
At the Tivoli, and
Yep.
it's going to run till 10:07, I think. So
Yeah.
2 hours and 3 minutes, right? And I'm like, okay, cool, good to know. And I've told this story. My wife went with me because she knows I love this band. And first note, literally all 1,735 people stood up except for my wife, who sat in the chair and looking like this. And first song ended, and she looked up at me and she said, "How much longer?" And I said,
It's a
2
long
hours.
show.
I said 2 hours and 1 minute, and we're watching every freaking second of it. So shut up.
That was a deep cut show too, if you remember, Barry. They
But I
played
was
some
like-
old school stuff that night.
I knew to the minute, what to tell her. We got
these
2 more hours.
Yeah.
So shut the hell up.
These industry jerks I was with had the set list
Oh, yeah.
before
Yeah,
the
yeah.
show started, and
Yeah.
they're all over there looking at him like, "Get that out of get that away from me!"
Yeah.
What are you trying to do? Ruin the whole damn trip? And I was making a joke, but meaning it. I get that out of here,
That's
man.
funny. Yeah.
And because that stuff will leak a little bit on Twitter, but you got to really look for it. Every one of them had, hey, it starts at 8:45, ends at da-da-da. I'm like,
Right.
you guys
right.
are
Here's-
about
this
to ruin the whole week.
factor in joke here or whatever. Some of
And-
them
and,
are,
to-
some
to
are
mo-
that way and some are not. But
To most all these people, they didn't care anything about. This could have been insert anybody here tonight. It's
Yeah.
a lot of people who it's not like mandatory, but it's almost like, hey, it's part of the gig today. It's part of their job. Tonight we go to Madison Square Garden. Tomorrow we go again for Cage. Next week we release the Blink 182, the whatever band I was just talking about, Linkin Park.
Lincoln Park.
All these, the surprise Jack White show. The surprise Jack White show in Jersey last week that was not announced. Nobody knew anything about it. Well, it was all we were talking about.
Yeah.
So that it's just a really, really neat dynamic to be involved in. And that was, we went to a ball game and just some random other stuff that just not noteworthy.
Well.
But yeah.
To sort of recap, and I mean it, good for you. You've had a great summer. Bonnaroo, you did the Sphere, you saw the Dead, you
And
did
New York,
this.
and
Now
then
we're
Huntsville.
going, and now we're going to Huntsville. So
Then that's it. Then I'm
life
until
will suck
somebody,
after that. It's gonna
Oh, and-
start sucking again.
Well, it's winter time. Yeah, and the time changes, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
You'll
life's
be
over.
miserable.
Life's over. Then I get a call out of nowhere from Letitia Wolf here,
Oh, yeah.
a southern, pretty well known in the music industry in the southeastern area, and a longtime friend of mine, to go to the Caverns to see Bill Burr, the comedian. This isn't. There's a story here that I'm not going to go into all that much right now, but this for anybody who doesn't know, which is probably most of you, we have this venue in what is called Pelham, Tennessee.
Pelham, Pelham.
Yeah, not to be
Tennessee.
confused with Pelham,
If you know
Alabama.
where Bonnaroo is, it's about 20 minutes east.
Not far, right at the bottom of the Mont Eagle Mountain, which is just a hill, on the Nashville side. And it's a cave, and there's a stage and a venue. It's gotten very, very popular. They have it's a lot of jam band stuff. There's a camping element to it. There's an outside amphitheater. It's actually become very, very quite the destination for a lot of people and artists. And I had never been before, and I get, hey, you want to go to the Caverns this week? Pfft, okay.
That's the first time I've heard of a comedian being in there. I know they've done a lot of jam bands, a lot of hippie shows with a lot of lights.
Yeah, a lot of there's been some EDM there.
EDM shows, so that's cool. They had a comedian.
Bill Burr, and it was his sidekick, Dean Del Rey. And really, Bill Burr was just there to get butts and seats. This was a live TV, some kind of live taping, which in itself was a wild environment to be in. First of all, you're in a cave, and it feels and smells and looks like a cave. Like, this is not just some kind of stage prop. It's very cool, very very cool. And I'm surprised cell service even comes through like GPS and all that. And so the live taping, they're really, I mean, you don't get to just kind of do whatever you want. Like you got to sit down and shut up and don't, which is kind of a comedy show anyway, but very, very different environment. Very cool to be a part of. I can't say I loved it all that much, but it was really, really fun to wrap up the week doing that. So yeah, it's been a wild summer. It's been a lot of fun doing the show, doing all these things and talk about it too. Thank you guys so much for watching and listening and playing along and being interactive and it's we got South Star will kind of be the end of the summer run for me, and then I hibernate, get ready for 2025.
And then we'll start serious rumor season. So and then Russ and we get to go to Nashville. I'm so excited about that.
Me too. And then also, speaking of the caverns that you just went to, I'm probably going to do Cave Fest next month too with our friends Beth and Brad, Nashville Brad, Jerry, Mike, all those guys we just did Bonnaroo with.
Oh yeah, that's right. She comes over for that. That's
Where's
cool.
Help me out with Cave Fest again? Why? I've heard. Is that that's at Pelham too, right?
Yeah, that's at the caverns,
At
and
the
it's just a it's a
Big camping weekend, right?
it's a big camping weekend. A lot of
bluegrass,
which is not really my thing, but I'll go
bluegrass.
and hang out with them and
take
have
the
a good
bus
time.
and there you can bring some PBR and you're going to be gold, man.
Exactly,
It
Short
was a
drive.
late show that we went to, so I wasn't able to really get any lay of the land at all. And it was a really we got to move thing. And you can't have your phone, which was anxiety filled enough. So that no pictures and anything like that. But it's a really big property that I am really looking forward to going back and seeing again. I won't be with you on that trip, I doubt, but I certainly want to do something like that because it looks like it's just a wild, cool, really unique venue.
It's neat.
It's super cool, and it
In a
seems like
town
they're
of
announcing stuff
403,
all
by the
time.
way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How that ever you're driving through little backwoods neighborhoods. Thinking,
Well, they have the cave and the amphitheater outside.
yes,
correct.
Which they unearthed literally during COVID when they couldn't do inside the cave, so they started clearing brush and
Exactly.
realized, oh my gosh, we have this basically natural amphitheater.
and it did so well. It was like,
Yeah.
well, this
It's
is
a really cool space. So
Yeah.
good for them. All right, guys. We will be back next week doing something. I don't know what. And then we will be, Bryan and I will be in Huntsville for South Star. And beyond that, I don't know what's going to happen. Hopefully, we'll have interviews from some of the musicians there, and we'll probably do an episode or two with those. And then, we'll start getting ready for Bonnaroo. So, all right, guys, thanks for everything. Please listen, subscribe, review, do all that kind of stuff.
Join the Discord too.
Join the Discord. And
maybe even the people on this show should join the Discord one of these days.
Yeah, maybe
Yeah,
we can
I'm
get
talking to
Bryan
you
to
two.
sign
Join the
up for
Discord.
that thing.
Yeah.
I think about it a lot, actually, and then I forget, like
Right.
2 seconds later.
But I am very sincere. We're all lucky, and I mean it. And
Happy birthday, Barry.
thanks very much,
Yeah, and happy
guys.
birthday. Make sure you leave a comment. Tell Barry happy birthday.
All right. Peace.